Hello YouTube. We're making an install video on the ZRP Razor Pro R toe link. Reason you might want to be doing this cam lock on the toe link starts to turn on itself. So, you know, spirited riding, someone going real hard on the trail or a race application, this isn't going to be able to hold up. And this tube is also thinner metal, so it has deflection. And this hub will go side to side and change the toe, which we're trying to eliminate. And we're going to do that by installing the ZRP toe link. I believe it's chromoly, bitchin' FK ends on it, all the good stuff. So you got to start by removing the tire. Brian over there, he'll get the skid plate taken off. You're going to need that. Need 10 millimeter. We'll get this skid plate ripped off and we'll go to the next step. So we're getting ready to take the cam lock off. It's going to be a 21. Make sure you use Milwaukee tools because they're the best. Shut up. Now, I'm not sponsored yet, but will be soon. So Brian is going to reach under there. And I'm going to hit this baby with the motherfucking wrench.
Ready?
Yep. Cool. Just like that, we're out and about. This is that cam lock that spins. So if the bolt loosens or gets any kind of loose, this baby will just rotate and get looser further distance. So now we're gonna go up to the front. I'll stick my wrench in. If you just peel that skid plate back a little like Brian did, take off the back one and then there's two smaller skid plates right here. It's a T40 to take those off. And he's gonna take that off. We think so. Never mind. Probably gonna need an extension. All right, extension time. The camera will focus. And I'm in there like swimwear.
Fire in the hole.
Cool. That comes off. Pull that baby out, just like so. And in theory, we might have to take the knuckle off. Is it gonna be able to go down enough?
Nope.
All right. So
Well, that little
we might have to take the knuckle off the trailing arm. Wasn't expecting this. Or we could cut this completely off, but we don't want to do that. So we took a pry bar under the trailing arm and pulled that out. But the only thing that's really stopping us is that little nub right there. And it doesn't look like to have any kind of structural strength. So I think we're gonna take a grinder and just kind of cut that right there. And we'll slide this baby right out. So we didn't have to cut anything. If you just wiggle the knuckle back and forth, you can kind of weasel it out without having to take anything else off. So don't get mad at us if you can't do it. We did it. It's proof. And now we'll get ready to put in the new link. So before we put in the new link, I just wanted to go over exactly why this is better and why it's worth spending the extra money on. This right here is adjustable, which this isn't adjustable. It was only adjustable on the cam lock, which can move. And, you know, change if the tire is going through whoops and it starts to, you know, jog on it, that cam lock can spin and get smaller, or it gets smaller or further away. So that would change your toe. So it wouldn't be, you know, where it's supposed to be. And this is awesome. There's other people on the market that sell these, but this one is better because you don't have to take this off to adjust it. All you have to do is loosen these bolts right here and move this bung, and you can twist the bung and twist the rod out of it. So you can go out or in. Don't pay attention to my shoddy gloves. They've been with me for a while. So, but you can spin this out without having to remove this on the car. So if it ever does get out of whack or you need to adjust or change this bad boy, you're going to be able to adjust on the car very easily. And, you know, other ones they have double rod ends, which, you know, they can back out, they can twist, they can get loose, which they do all the time. So this is a much better option to get done what you need to. So, you know, much heavier duty, very strong. This thing, you know, just chintzy. This thing got some weight to it. So hard to tell on the camera, but this is a very high quality piece. So let's go to the install. So we got the link installed. You feed it in from this side, feed it in from back here, put it in, and then you should be able to put it comes with a supplied bolt. So now under here, roll around. I did take the zip disc cutoff wheel and I cut this flange because it was sitting out here and it just didn't have any structural purpose to it. You know, it was just extra metal. So if you don't feel comfortable, you know, cutting up a $40,000 machine, you don't have to, but it'll make it much easier to adjust this and get it put where it needs to. And that way you can just spin this around and it's much easier to get locked into place. So now that that's in there, it was super easy to get in. You just kind of have to twist the knuckle around a little bit to get it where it needs to be, but very easy to install. So let's get our, oh, another thing is you're gonna want to get the bolt kit from ZRP. It replaces the hubs, the bolts on the hubs. They also have a replacement for the trailing arm, and the bolts are just better. You know, the stock one has this weird head on it, and the shanks are just different size. They're like, I don't know if there's another one around. Let me see. The threads are bigger than the shank, so it doesn't work out because when this goes through, the holes have to be bigger for the shank to go through, and then it's smaller on the shaft itself. So it doesn't, you know, you're gonna have play. It's gonna be popping and clacking, and those bolts back there will fix that problem. Another thing with the bolts, like you can see, this is the bolt that they give us. So that the actual, you know, the base of the bolt is wider than the threads versus the stock one, the threads are wider than the bolt. So the holes will have movement on this bolt versus this one will actually, it's wider than the threads. So be much better longevity for this bolt than this one, and it won't egg out the frame or any other part. So now we've got it all installed. It's ready to go. This is a 22 millimeter with the nut on the back is a 22. That comes supplied with the link. And then we have the ZRP bolt kit, which I highly advise you do. Like I said before, it's just a better setup. It's not going to be popping and clacking around. That's going to be a 22 millimeter up there as well for the wrench and socket. And you will also, if you use the stock bolt, it's going to be a 21 millimeter. So this is how you adjust it. So if we put the tire back on the car, once this is all tight, we put the tire back on the car, we can run a string line all the way around it and get it to ride height. Like, so put the tire back on the car, settle the car on the ground, and then you can run a string line all the way around it and check your toe in the rear. And if it's out of whack, then you can come in here and make sure that these Allen bolts right here are loose, and then spin the bung around the heim. So instead of spinning the heim out, you're just going to spin the bung in or out, not this gem nut, but the bung right here, and spin this out or in and get your toe set. And then once you get it set, you're going to tighten those down and you're going to tighten your jam nut. So after that's set up, you should be able to you have a much more reliable machine and not making any popping and clacking, and you won't get the deflection of the tube because the stock tube is going to pull around. It's not as thick and strong. And you know what's awesome about this kit, it's a lot easier to set or change the toe and set the toe in the rear, because the stock cam lock, when it's in there, you got to reach around the tire and try to adjust it from that and then from that side. So you got to get in there with a wrench and then have a socket and then adjust the cam lock with the tire on there. Is going to be very difficult. So just a much easier, more heavy duty fix where you're not having to adjust all the time either. Like I highly doubt you're going to have to adjust this. You know, you nail something really hard and you bend something, at least you can get it back to the correct toe. You're not going to bend the toe link, but you might bend something in here and it might move, or then you can make proper adjustments. So this is my technique on setting the toe. If you haven't done this before, get the steering wheel straight, run a string line around it. I used a chalk line, I didn't have another string line. So what's nice about the Pro R, it's got the hubcap, so kind of just center the string all the way around the wheels. And you can see this one's out and you have a gap right here. So with this gap, you know that tire needs to come in, and you basically just want to get the string just perfectly straight. Like you can see that tire's out. So what we need to do is pull this inward. And you want to make sure the car is, after you got done jacking it up and bringing it back down, you want to make sure it's back at ride height, because they're going to want to stand up. So you're going to want to roll it back and forth, jump up and down on it. Whatever you got to do, take it out for a lap real quick, and then bring it back in, and then straighten everything back out. That's our ZRP toe link video. Back again, you can just see the difference in the quality of these bad boys, and they're just much stronger. We'll do another one on the tie rods, so stay tuned for that. And like and subscribe, please like and subscribe. It's very important. That way we can keep pumping out some badass content for you guys. Here's the race car right here. We just sucked a bunch of water into the motor, so we're changing out engine oil 4 or 5 times, get it back in running shape. This car did excellent this year. We have a third, a first, a third, and a first, and second in Western points, so pretty stoked about that. You'll see this car at King of the Hammers this year. It's going to be ready to kick some butt. We're going to turn this car into a race car as well, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing some more videos on installs and some custom fab stuff. So thanks for watching. ZRP toe link install.